Nija, welcome back to my channel. So I'm super excited for today's video. This topic really does hit home for me. I got the advice that I should start making more vulnerable content because it's going to be the most relatable, and I felt that. So today's video is going to be just that. I really hope I'm focused, you guys. I cracked my camera screen when I was on the airplane coming home, so it's all shattered. Okay, so we're hoping for the best right now. If I look good and clear and you guys can hear me okay, please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and let's go ahead and get into the topic of today's video, which is where I went wrong. Okay, this video is also a part of the Ladies Level Up series. I know I kind of took a hiatus from making those videos, and I will explain why in this video. Okay, so my advice are what I wish I had told myself pertaining to relationships and dating and all that fun stuff, okay? So this is going to be advice that I wish that I could go back and tell my former self. And I think that this will be really liberating to other people. Learn from my mistakes. Let's all learn from each other. Okay, so the first thing that I wish I told myself, or where I went wrong when it came to relationships, was I stayed when I should have left after I saw the red flags. So you guys might be in a relationship and there are what is called dating red flags, where it's like you feel in your heart, in your emotions, everything is not 100%. You get these hunches, these feelings, these gut feelings that somebody might not be 100% who they say they are, or it's just not 100%. You feel something is off. There might be red flags when you first meet somebody or first date someone. For example, maybe they have an alcohol problem, maybe they have a drug problem, maybe they, I don't know, different little red flags that we pick up on. And it's going to be very subtle and very slight, because when you first meet somebody, they're on their best behavior. They don't want to show you, their true selves, even if it's good or bad. They're going to put up a front. So it really does take a little bit of time and a little bit of discernment to pick up on these subtle red flags. But when you see them, don't bypass them and don't ignore them. That's something I would have gone back and told myself. Don't ignore the red flags. Your hunches, your intuition is the truth, okay? So don't play yourself. Okay, you will play yourself if you ignore your intuition. So the number two, the advice, what I wish I had told myself where I went wrong. When somebody shows you who they really are, believe them, okay? When somebody shows you who they really are, believe them. This goes back to those red flags. When you see those small, little, subtle, slight things that, might irk you or rub you the wrong way or make you question the intention or integrity of a person, really pay attention to that, okay? Pick up on those red flags. When somebody shows you who they really are, maybe it's, you get in your first big fight or your first big official argument, and they really just like completely do a 360 and you don't know who you're talking to or who you're dealing with, believe them. This is who they really are. This is the true colors coming out. Don't think, oh, it's just this instance. Oh, it was just this one time. Oh, maybe this just really got them upset. Don't make excuses for people. When they show you who they really are, believe them. And I have some examples, okay? Let's say you meet somebody and they're a heavy drinker, or they don't know how to have a good time unless they're intoxicated. That is a red flag, okay? If somebody shows you that or presents that to you, that they are a heavy drinker, or that they don't know how to hold their liquor and they act belligerent when you're out with them and they get in this way, don't ignore that. When they show you who they really are, that is who they are. If that is not in alignment with who you want to be with right now, today, don't do it. Another example would be staying out too late. Now this obviously, this is for like if you are living with somebody, which we're going to touch on that as well. But if you feel uncomfortable by the fact that they are staying out really late, or that you don't, it doesn't even matter if they're where they say they are. Just the fact that you decided you were going to be in a committed relationship and they're not where they're supposed to be at certain times, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or if I'm speaking to anybody out there, but that kind of did rub me the wrong way. So if that rubs you the wrong way, that could be a red flag that it could potentially be a problem in the future. Another example would be texting or calling other females. If in the beginning of your relationship you witness that the person that you are pursuing or is interested in is already doing this, don't try to be blind when they show you who they truly are, because that's not going to stop. That's kind of like a red flag I bypassed in the beginning of one of my relationships. I witnessed them texting and calling and social mediating with other females, and I thought, oh, it's because we didn't define the relationship. Oh, it's because we're not technically boyfriend and girlfriend yet. But it's like, how can you feel comfortable being someone's boyfriend or girlfriend when they don't even pass the preliminary stages of, you know, being solely one-on-one? Yeah, so that is a red flag. And even if like you're dating them now officially, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're messaging, calling, texting, being inappropriate with people on their phones and on their devices, once you catch somebody doing that, they're showing you who they really are, and that is a red flag. And if I could go back and talk to my old self, I would tell her, that's not gonna change. That's just someone showing you who they truly are, and you should believe them. Okay. Yeah, another one is, and I already said this, DMing other women. If you are trying to pursue somebody or are in a relationship with them, or God forbid in a marriage with them, and you see them, you know, interacting in an inappropriate way on social media with the opposite sex or with other women, or even with the same sex. I mean, people are everything right now in these days. If you see anything like that, that is a red flag. They're showing you who they really are. You should believe them, and you should vanish if that makes you feel some type of way. Now, there are some females that they don't care if they see their boyfriend or husband texting or calling other women, because they just know that they have female friends of that nature. But again, if it's ever inappropriate or makes you feel uncomfortable, listen to your gut and listen to your intuition. It doesn't matter how they try and soothe it over and smooth it over and tell you that they're nobody. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, that's going to be a repeating factor, and I wouldn't, you know, when people show you who they are, believe them. Okay, the last one is, or not the last one, but the next one from this topic, if people believe them when they show you who they are, telling you that they cheated. If they confess to you that they have cheated on you and you cannot take it, you know, that is a red flag, and you should probably remove yourself from the relationship. And I say you cannot take it because as females, for whatever reason, sometimes we stay longer than we're supposed to, even when people do us wrong or do us dirty. And if I could go back and talk to my former self, I would say it's okay to let that go. So yeah, that's just a little bit of advice about that. If people show you who they really are, believe them, okay? Don't think, oh, they could change, oh, but there's potential, oh. No, you're literally getting exactly what you're getting, and you're going to keep getting what you're getting if that is what you keep condoning. Okay, my tip number 3 of where I went wrong, what I wish I could tell my former self, is don't cut off all of your friends just because you enter a relationship. You will be lonely, you will be bored, and eventually when your relationship loses that honeymoon feeling, you're gonna be sitting at home by yourself. Don't cut off your friends, and if you have a good partner, they won't want you to cut off all your friends. They will want you to still hang out with your friends because they know that's what makes you happy. It's very manipulative also if you're in a relationship with somebody who tells you to cut off your friends, or that they don't want you to see X, Y, and Z. Just don't even subscribe to that. Don't even do that. That's a red flag, and that's something I wish I would have told myself, to maintain your friendships. Okay, maintain your friendships. Don't cut off all your friends. Now, there's a difference between cutting out the friends that are not healthy for your relationships, like your friends that want to go out and, you know, every Sunday and every Saturday when you know you want to be booed up with your boo. Okay, those aren't the friends I'm talking about. But if you have solid friendships and relationships before you got into your boyfriend girlfriend situation, I think it's extremely important to maintain and continue to cultivate those friendships. You never know when you're going to need them, and if you get rid of all your friends for the sake of being in a relationship and it doesn't work out, you will have no friends. And then when you try to come back and crawl your way back into their lives and say, oh, we broke up, they dumped me, they're gonna be like, well, why did you dump me for your relationship and I knew it wasn't gonna work out? Why? Okay, so yeah, that's my advice. Don't dump your friends, keep your friends, continue to cultivate those relationships, okay? Don't follow in my mistakes. The next thing is number 4. So this one's a little bit more personal, but I ruined my credit during the duration of one of my relationships, right? And then we ended up living together, and I was not able to financially get my own place or my own apartment when things started to turn sour. And it's not a good feeling to not be able to, you know, support yourself or take care of yourself, especially if you're in an environment that you no longer want to be in. So my advice for you is to don't leave yourself in a vulnerable position, okay? Maintain your independence. It sounds really fun and fabulous and luxurious to be spoiled and taken care of, but it's a really bad feeling when you want to be done and you can't be because you don't have the adequate resources, or, you know, you're limited in your potentialities because you kind of gave up your independence, or kind of, you know, I get it. Okay, it's great to be taken care of, it's great to be spoiled. Just be sure that you can still take care of yourself. And that's a predicament that a lot of women actually get themselves in, whether they get married and their husband takes care of everything, and then God forbid they pass away or the marriage just doesn't work out, and you don't know how to do basic things like pay your bills and maintain a credit card and all kinds of things because they literally took care of everything. You still need to, again, maintain your independence and know how to take care of yourself, because it's a really bad, icky feeling wanting to get out of a situation that you feel stuck in, okay? So make sure that you are always able to take care of yourself. Maintain some kind of independence, whether that's your own bank account or your own savings account or your own, you know, your own job, your own sources of income. Make sure that you always have a way to make money outside of what you're doing, okay? Okay. So, and then the last thing, my tip number 5, where I went wrong, what I wish I could tell my past self, my previous self, is to be very careful of codependency. This is, again, like the topic that I mentioned before, but you know, you don't want to be in a relationship where it seems like one person needs the other person too much, or one person can't function without the other person. That is a codependent relationship, and it's kind of parasitic, okay? It's like one person is the host for the other person to harvest off of your energy, and that's not a great feeling. So my advice would be to be very careful of codependent relationships. How can you spot a codependent relationship? If you're with a partner who doesn't want to do anything with anybody else with you, and again, you have to have discernment, because in the honeymoon stage, everyone's kind of like that. I don't want to hang out with anybody but you. I don't want to see anybody but you. We all get like that in the honeymoon phase. But then eventually, you know, you're supposed to trickle out of that and still be able to maintain healthy friendships while being in your relationship or your partnership or your marriage, okay? If your partner has a problem with you being around other people, or still enjoying your life and still maintaining some sense of independence in your day-to-day, whether you have an activity or an outing or something that you do where it's just you or you and a friend, you know, be careful of codependent relationships. Another thing, make sure that you have your own goals, you have your own aspirations. Make sure you have a future for yourself outside of the relationship that you're trying to create and cultivate. That way, no matter what happens in the relationship, you don't feel like you're losing your entire world when it comes to an end, if it comes to an end. You want to still have goals and dreams and aspirations and projects, you know, that you're working on. You still want to have hobbies, and you still want to have fun things that you can do. Something that I had to recently do was literally create a list of all the fun things that I like to do, like making myself a menu of things that I like to do, so that when I get bored or when I want to have fun or experience pleasure, I have a list of things that I can do that I like to do. You know, a lot of times when people get in relationships, they don't know how to, again, maintain that sense of independence or that sense of self, that you're still your own person, with or without that person. So be very, very, very careful of codependent relationships. Make sure that you still have goals and dreams and aspirations. You still have a reason to live, whether the relationship works out or not, okay? That is extremely, extremely important, and that's what I wish I would have told myself way back when. So yeah, you guys, that is the end of this video. I hope these tips were helpful, and ladies, help each other out in the comment section down below. You give an example of what you wish you could have told your future self pertaining to relationships and dating and things of that nature. We're learning from each other, so it's totally fine to be vulnerable and transparent. This is going to help women to not, you know, feel so, I don't know. There's this, and this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, again, why I stopped making ladies level up content, or why I kind of slowed down with it. I felt like because I had been in a relationship where I had gotten hurt, you know, I had gotten cheated on, I did not get the best that I would have given myself, but I chose to stay, you know, out of fear or what have you. We make our reasons, we make, you know, but because of that relationship, I was damaged. My perception, my mentality was damaged, and it made me, you know, believe that you have to date a certain type of man so that you don't ever feel that way again, and that's not necessarily true. So I am evolving and growing as a person. Some of the old information from my old ladies level up videos, I wouldn't necessarily continue to take that advice. Not all of it, not everything, because it is really good advice. You should be choosing a partner of quality, absolutely, 100%. But it doesn't necessarily have to be based off of finances and money, and they don't necessarily have to be older than you, even though women mature faster than men. Therefore, it does make sense to date a man who's a little bit older than you, but you can meet somebody who is mature in nature and is the same age as you or even younger than you. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. That's kind of why I slowed down with that content. I don't want to share toxic information, and I started to realize that some of the stuff I was saying because I was hurt and because I was trying to protect myself and to protect my emotions. But really, when you're with the right person, it's okay to be vulnerable. You know, it's not okay to throw caution to the wind and not listen to your inner voice anymore. But when you're with the right person, you will feel safe to be vulnerable in certain ways. You don't always have to hold up emotional boundaries. Now, a lot of things I say are true. It is good not to be overly emotional. It is good to think things out before you do them. It is good to find you a partner of quality and of integrity and pay attention to the signs, okay? All that is still very much so accurate. But I just can definitely tell how I have grown emotionally and evolved, and understand that I had certain mentalities or certain perceptions about reality pertaining to relationships because I was damaged and I was hurt and I felt, you know, I wasn't given my best. So yeah, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that it's relatable. I hope that it was inspiring. You know, learn from my mistakes and learn from your sisters as well down in the comments if they say anything, you know, learn from each other. We learn from each other. We don't have to continue this narrative of toxic relationships. We can have healthy relationships and be happy and feel fulfilled and still protect ourselves emotionally. I think that's all good, okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!